boobs.
Jam on toast!
Ohio gozaimasu, welcome to the jam. Watashi wa Kamurai desu, and today the toast is to Seikerei, which is Japanese for That doesn't seem right. Hey. This is my fact checker. I'm probably gonna have to let her go. This is for SourcefedNerd's Anime Club, and I gotta say, I was real happy when I heard this come up. I'd seen season 1 before, and kind of just wrote it off because I hadn't seen season 2. I remember it being a fun, kind of fan servicey anime, and I've gotta say, like, I was like, oh, I'll watch a couple episodes to refresh. Shotgunned all 2 seasons. Little embarrassed. The short sell on this one is that there's a citywide competition where basically special people are used as Pokemon and it's last man standing wins. We're following Minato as he kind of collects his Seikerei and gears up for the big events that are going on throughout this competition, the Seikerei plan. This is a real fun anime and there's so many things to like about it. As much as I wanted to pick a certain character or two to promote here, I think my favorite thing about this is the way they deliver the fan service. True story, actually had a discussion with my mother about this. They make most of the fan service plausible. She gets hit with an attack, her clothes rip. That makes sense. Where a lot of animes, they get hit with like gale force winds and razor sharp things that are cutting into a building, but their uniform is intact, not even dirty. So I kind of like that, and they didn't have to go all the way, and they really did, because most of them keep their panties on throughout most of the time. But I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, because they're going to do that sort of thing, and the right way to do it is to make it plausible and make it part of the story. Don't stop telling us the story, and then go off and be like, boobs and massage in the bath party. A good example of something like that was High School of the Day. What I don't like about this is that someone who didn't watch the entire thing start to finish could make a 3-hour special about how this is degrading to women and just blah blah blah, and it's not factual. There are men Seikerei. There's even one guy who's trans, and it's actually kind of a running joke if you notice that he just doesn't know where to be. But the last episode is definitely my overall dislike because they ruined such a good series. If they just stopped telling the story at that last episode and do a 5-minute prologue, would have been happy. The MVP for this series, and remember, this is over 2 seasons, so it's really, really hard to pick somebody. But I'm going to go ahead and give it up to Ku, the little Seikerei. She puts a mode of innocence to everything. There's a certain emotional connection between the Ashikabi and the Seikerei, and she really makes it into an innocent thing. It definitely starts as a big brother thing, and then like a child imitating adults as they do. She turns it into competing with the other females for his attention, and she says things like, when I'm older, I'm going to be your wife. And it's adorable, it's cute, and it balances out what it's supposed to mean versus all the comedy that they put in with the sexualization. And on to the categories. Aesthetics. I really like the style of this anime. I can't stress that enough. It's great to have hot chicks everywhere and whatever, and I'm sure the guys look attractive for the girls watching the show as well, but that's not what it's really there for. They show them throughout their personality. There's even a Tifa-like look to Mitsubi, especially as she's a fist type, but they do a really good job animating the weapons, the people fighting, and all the special effects that happen with the magic. They do a great job showing color palettes and choosing when to look through fire for like a lot of Homaru scenes. And when he's like melting down, it's amazing to think about that being a real thing and watching it as an anime, because I think you'd lose something if you saw it in real life. I really like too how they put in all the classic anime emoticons in there. I don't think they took anything out of it, and I think it really enhanced it instead of taking it away like sometimes it will. Aesthetics gets a 90. Character development. The characters are fun and lovable, don't get me wrong, and what we definitely see in the development is their relationship with each other grow. But they're really stock characters, and they're pretty much the same characters throughout the whole thing. The one thing that changes before and after they find their Ashikabi is that they may have a different viewpoint about Ashikabis in general, but once they find them, they're still pretty much who they were, except now they have an emotional connection to someone who they thought they never would. Minato adjusts to this really easily and is kind of just the good guy throughout the whole thing, and I like that about him, and I'm not saying that any of the characters are bad, they're just very static. The villains are the same way. It's really kind of weird when I think about it academically. But they have such good interactions with each other, and they grow as a team that you don't even notice it while you're watching it because you're having too much fun with it. Character development gets a 60. Storyline. I think this is a horrible premise for a show in general, but they make it work for real. It's because somebody was like, let's make hot chicks battle. I think is really what the pitch line was. And then they were like, well, let's not do that, and we have to appeal to other audiences, and we don't want to seem sexist, and we're going to do this right. So they put in male characters, they put in the trans character, they put in a bunch of stuff. I think they adjusted the story as they went. And they did it well enough, but the mad scientist, let's make all these people battle for my entertainment thing, it's horrible. And they present it as such, and it makes it work because we follow probably one of the more sensible groups of Seikerei. Storyline gets a 60. Compulsion. I can't stress how much fun this anime is to watch. Yeah, there's boobs, whatever. There's great action. There's magic involved, or superpowers if you want to call it that. There's great romance type story involved. There's mystery. There's so many good things about this, and it's such a well put together anime that you can't help but just love it episode to episode. And I think my favorite part about that is that it's not very episodic. It has an overall storyline, and it's broken down into smaller storylines that branch several episodes. It's not what happened today, it's okay, how are we going to deal with this problem that we know is existing? And I love those types of stories because they just feed into one another and they're great. Compulsion gets a 90. Now if we total all that up, we get an average of 75. For my rep review, I gotta say, this is not the masterpiece of all anime or anything, but it is so fun. I'd recommend it for anyone who's okay with seeing boobs, and of course some violence. But I can't stress how lovable the characters are and what a great, wholesome relationship it really is when you break it down. And you could break down the mad scientist guy and be like, what does it take to be this type of sociopathic monster? But I think it's the wrong show for that. I committed to 2 episodes, watched 2 seasons. This is one I would definitely say, like, if you're sick for a weekend or a day or something, throw it on and it'll make your day a little better. I can't say this is one I would think everybody should have in their collection, but it's definitely one everybody should watch at some point. Give it a try. I think that's it for me. I'm Cameron. Have a nice day.